Hey stats class, so we have a data set here that they're giving us. We'll have to zoom in to actually get the data because they're not giving it to us directly like this. But what we're being asked to do is find the equation for all these points. There's 10 of them. Then we're going to remove one, this one right here that's an outlier in both directions, x and y, and see what happens to this equation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blow this up a little bit so we can see the points a little better. But this is 2, 6, 8. You can see it's skipping over 5 and 7. But 5 has a y-coordinate of 2, a y-coordinate of 3, a y-coordinate of 4, and then 6 does, and then 7 does. So what I'm going to do here is just delete all these, delete all this stuff, and come back up here to the x's and the y's. And notice this is 5 with 3 y's, 6 with 3 y's, 7 with 3 y's. So I'm going to have a 5 with 3 y's, so I'm just going to put 3 5s, a 6 with 3 y's, and a 7 with 3 y's. Alright, and then this other point out here in space is 2, 9, and a 9 right there. And then the pattern here for the y's, every time that I have a 5, the pattern is 2, 3, and then with the 6's, it's 2, 3, 4. So I'm just going to write 2, 3, 4 over and over. Get to that 9 at the bottom that I've already put in. Alright, you can put in any order you want to. This is just kind of a little systematic way to do it. Alright, if I click A, drag to B, insert a scatter chart, you can see that that kind of matches up with what they have. I'm going to kind of squeeze it in so it's not covering up all my data. Now what it asks is, what's the equation of the regression line for all these points? So remember, that is equals line, you just type the word line and then line est. Alright, y values first, don't select any column headers, comma, x values second. Again, you can do it in either order. Like bottom to top, top to bottom. I mean, you can't do y's, x's first then y's like you can with correlation. So you got to make sure you put the y's in first this time. Calculate b, yes. Verbose 0 for no. And get our slope. That's the number that's in front of x in the equation. Y-intercept, that's the number that doesn't have an x in the equation. All right, and then they don't ask for it here, but I'm going to calculate r just so you can see the importance of this question, a question like this. So equals correlation, start typing correlation, C-O-R-R-E-L. All right, it says y's first, then x's. You can do it that way, either order. Just make sure that you grab both of them, meaning get your x's and your y's. You can get the column headers for these as well. All right, so there's the correlation. Now I'm going to just highlight these numbers and just make smaller decimals because it's going out of the screen. So there's the values that we need. Now it wants to know what's the equation for all 10 points. Remember, the thing without an x beside it is the y-intercept. The thing with the x is the slope. So this is the y-intercept. That's the 9 point. I want it to 3 places. So I'm going to select this and make them both rounded to 3 places. Alright, so there they are. If you ever run into this situation, don't put plus and negative, just put minus when you're actually writing it by hand. So there is my equation with all 10 points. And then what it wants me to do is remove that outlier. So that outlier is this final point the way I've plotted it. I intended to do it that way, so it's just the very bottom point. But just wherever this fell, top, bottom, just highlight the 2 numbers, right click and tell it to delete the cells and shift up. And so now this is my data set. Notice Excel or Sheets zoomed in around it, and it's just that box. Now we've taken this out, so it's just this box. And you can see the correlation, or sorry, the slope is 0. The y-intercept is 3. It's the number in the middle. It's the average of all the y-coordinates. And there is no correlation at all anymore. So what is the equation for the regression line? Notice they don't even give me the x part. It's just the y part. It's just the y-intercept. Remember, that doesn't get an x. So it's just y equals 3 as our estimation. So when there is no correlation, when you have no correlation at all in the data set, I want you to see what happens. If I do equals average, there's the average of the y-coordinates. The average of the y-coordinates is 3, and the equation, when you have no correlation, becomes y equals the average value of y. That's what happens when there is no correlation, when there's no relationship, linear relationship between x and y. The estimation for the y's, which again, that's what the line gives us. It gives us a way to estimate y's. The best estimation for y's is the average of the y's when we have no correlation.